Oh, we're live. Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We're live this morning, differently, not in the studio, doing the transfer news on the morning walk. It's like Piccadilly Circus on the canal today. Everyone's very eager to get to work this Monday morning. I need to get my words out, still very tired from the weekend. But let's fly into it then. Today is Ivan Perisic Monday. Apparently he will sign for Manchester United today. I think this is all based on Inter Milan going on their US tour, China tour tomorrow. I think one way or another, most Manchester United fans would have wanted Perisic to sign for United weeks ago, because it's not like we're going to sign Gareth Bale or Ronaldo, is it? But it's been dragging on for weeks and weeks and weeks, much like Pogba last year, and he's not a player of that quality that we should be like dragging it on for weeks. But he is a player that when we do sign him, I will be happy about it, because we do need that sort of winger who can put decent quality into the box naturally off both feet, and also hard-working. And if we are going to use that 3-5-2 situation, he could work well in that, or he would just work as a natural winger, which is good. There's rumours that he's handed in a transfer request, which somebody in the live comments just said, look, if you want to force a move in the modern game, the way, especially this summer, the way people are offering, well, clubs are holding out for ridiculous amounts of money, then the transfer request is the way to do it. And I really do think in hindsight that Morata probably wishes he'd done it at Real Madrid, because we would have got him. I still think there's a chance that we might get Morata. I think there's too much over the weekend about how, you know, Herrera was saying what a good player he'd be, and Mourinho was saying that he wanted him, and we know he was pretty much first choice. So I think that Morata's still a possibility. There's a few people saying there that Inter can afford to keep Perisic. Of course they can, they've got loads of money. But I think what people are missing here, the pertinent point, is that Perisic wants to come to Manchester United. And it's very similar to any player who's looking for a move. Like Manchester United have had it before with Cristiano Ronaldo. We can afford to keep, we could have kept Ronaldo easily, but if he wants a move to Real Madrid, there's not a lot you can do, and that is certainly the situation with Perisic. The flip side of that coin is the Anthony Martial. Now I get quite tired about the Anthony Martial rumours, and I'm sure everybody like you do as well, but there was somebody last night on Twitter, I think they're French, basically quite, you know, I wouldn't say credible, they've got a lot of followers, whatever that means on Twitter, but he was saying that the latest rumour is that AC Milan want Anthony Martial on loan. I mean, for anybody who stayed up to watch the game against LA Galaxy on Saturday night, he was arguably the man of the match, and he looks a lot happier in training. I wouldn't have sold Martial anyway, but when you look at what he's doing, granted it was only LA Galaxy, but he seems to be more settled and mentally in the right place. This is, you know, Anthony Martial for me is, when he's on his game and playing well and happy, potentially one of the best players in Europe. Why Manchester United would let him go, I don't know. And I would happily go on record to say that if we were to let Anthony Martial go, then I would seriously have concerns over Jose Mourinho, who is a manager that I back, and I don't think there's anybody better than him, and I certainly wouldn't be saying Mourinho out, but to let Martial go would be almost perverse, if that makes any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It's against everything that Manchester United stands for. He's a young flair player, quick, skillful, exactly what Manchester United's always been about. To get rid of him in favour of somebody who is 28, a workman-like midfielder, a winger in Perisic, would be turning Manchester United away from what Manchester United's all about and moulding it into what Mourinho's all about. And he's got to be very careful about doing that, because his promise was that he wouldn't do that. His promise was that he'd come to Manchester United, get us playing entertaining football and do things the Manchester United way. And I think he will, and I don't think there's anything in the Martial rumours, to be honest. So, but I'm just going to put it out there that if that was to happen, I'd be very frustrated. What else? Fabinho and Nainggolan, nothing to report other than Nainggolan looks like he'll sign a new deal at Roma. Fabinho, well, there's a lot of people guessing about him, and he could well come to Manchester United, but the reality is it's gone very quiet around him. It's building around Matic. As I tweeted out last night, if Di Marzio can get one thing right this summer, I truly hope that it is that Matic is going to Juventus. If we get Matic, I'll get behind him, but he's not the midfielder I want. I'd probably rather have Eric Dyer, but we do need another midfielder. I think that was again abundantly clear from Saturday night. But today's really all about Perisic Day. Will we get Perisic? Rick makes a good point that players need to hit the ground running, which is the argument for Matic. If you didn't see last night's Sunday show where I had Rodney on, well worth a listen or a watch this morning. We were talking about Matic and how after the LA Galaxy game, I still don't want Matic, but I can see why Mourinho does. He plays the averages, you buy Matic, he goes straight into the team. 70% of the games he plays, he probably plays 7 out of 10. Fabinho, for me, is the better midfielder, but he's, in Mourinho's mind, Brazilian, 22 or 23 now. Is he a risk? You know, Sir Alex would take the risk. Mourinho, he's not really a risk taker, but we know what we're getting with Mourinho. And if he delivers the league, then that's all he had to do for me. If he can deliver the league in the 3 years that he's here, then Mourinho's done what he was brought in to do. And we shouldn't expect the Galaxy when he was only ever brought in to secure the earth, if that makes sense. You know, Mourinho's history as a manager is not one of a scintillating, risk-taking manager. I think he's trying to do that, and I think at times last season he achieved it, and I think we will this year. I look at that second half against LA Galaxy, and then, you know, with the likes of Pereira and Pogba and Lukaku and Martial, and Mkhitaryan as well, there's so much flair and speed on the ball, but he will balance that off with what happened in the first half, where you've got Fellaini, Mata, Carrick, who don't have that speed. So he will balance that off, but there's a lot of excitement in this squad, and if he does add Perisic to it, then all those people are against it. He's a fast player as well, a good flair player. So lots to see what happens today. We will be back live at lunchtime anyway, 1 o'clock, off my phone again with the Real Salt Lake preview. That's all prepared unless something happens with Perisic. So have a good morning. I'll be back with you at around 1 o'clock for the Real Salt Lake preview. It's going to be a hot day in the UK. I hope you have a great start to your week as well, and I'll speak to you all at lunchtime. Thanks for watching. I'm being followed. Help. That was a joke, by the way.